Hello, this is Peter Levesque. I'm the Director of Knowledge Mobilization Works in Ottawa, Canada, and this is Section 2 of the Knowledge Mobilization series, the origin of knowledge mobilization. Lots of people have asked me where this term comes from, what does it mean, how does it fit with all of those other terms that I just described. But let's talk about how the term became popular in Canada and is growing in popularity in other places. I found writings as early as 1996 that used the term. Chris Deedy used it in education. And I had also heard a presentation by somebody in Australia who I don't have the notes of, but I had heard it as early as 1990. But it really gained popularity in Canada in 2001, 2002, at the beginning of the creation of the Knowledge Products and Mobilization Division at the Social Sciences Humanities Research Council of Canada. And the concept of knowledge mobilization started from really two premises. And the first was that leading edge information is not enough to ensure Canada's place in a rapidly changing world, and that information has more power and value when combined with analysis and action to create knowledge. And the conclusion was that this translated into economic, social, and cultural benefits for Canada. SSHRC is the government's key agency for developing new knowledge in the social sciences humanities. And there was a feeling that, like colleagues in the natural sciences and engineering who seek better mechanisms for commercialization of their research results, SSHRC was looking for ways to mobilize the results of its research so that people would have the results when they need it in a format they could use. And so that was the premise of the concept of knowledge mobilization, that policymakers, business leaders, service providers, teachers, the media would have what they need, when they need it, in a format that they could use. At the time, the president, Mark Renault, and vice presidents such as Pamela Wiggin were helping the agency move from a traditional granting agencies providing money to researchers with a clearly defined arc of rigorously peer-reviewed programs to a national body that assists in the creation, dissemination, and brokering of knowledge to meet the needs of Canadian society. And knowledge mobilization was seen as a core strategy of the council. And the primary goal was to assist the movement of knowledge generated through SSHRC-funded research so that it flows systematically throughout key sectors of society to inform discussion, understanding, and decision-making. And there was a sense that knowledge mobilization should be integrated throughout the whole organization, and it meant leveraging the knowledge and talents of the research community and everyone at SSHRC. And that emerged, that changed over time, right? There was this sense that we had to move beyond traditional vehicles of dissemination of new research into what was called a multifaceted strategy for getting knowledge into society where it can reap optimum rewards for Canadians. And that was the reason that the Knowledge Products and Mobilization Division was created, was to collectively work on this. And so now, how do you do that? And I think that was the challenge of the start of the division. And so we focused initially on one project, which was the Initiative on the New Economy. It was funded by the Government of Canada, and it was based on the belief that Canada's competitive position in the quote-unquote new economy depends on having strong policy framework based on good research and evidence, and that effective movement of results needed to be effective movement of these results into the hands of people. And so this was done doing a series of activities, creating an interactive web-based knowledge network to facilitate the formations of communities of researchers and users in a virtual meeting space, organizing fora and face-to-face events between researchers and users so that the relationships and trust could grow, supporting systematic reviews and syntheses of research, so research is off the bookshelves and in the hands of those that need it most, building on program elements and on face-to-face and virtual consultative panels. And then essentially what they call the harnessing of joint initiatives with organizations like Statistics Canada, Industry Canada, the Councils of Ministers of Education in Canada, among a range. And the anticipation was that there would be greater value of the value of knowledge generated, improved access to information and expertise, faster uptake of the knowledge produced, improved workflow, and individual and collective ability to move to innovate, adapt, and take advantage of new opportunities. So that was the baseline of what we were trying to do and how the term came about at the beginning of 2001. There was some serious challenges, and I think that the major challenge really came about in terms of a paradigm shift of knowledge is power to knowledge sharing. And even in the language that was originally used in the design of saying that there are researchers and research users really doesn't stand up to scrutiny. The greatest users of research are other researchers, at least in the social sciences and humanities. And so we play multiple roles in that exchange. But that was the discussion and the original origin of knowledge mobilization. And part of what we did with the initiative on the new economy is that any of the recipients that received a grant, they got a visit from me thrown in. And we went to each of their locations and met with them and sat down and talked about what knowledge mobilization could look like and how could we engage in that paradigm shift to knowledge sharing. And that happened in all sorts of different ways. And essentially, collectively, we tried to come to a better understanding of what this thing was, or what these processes were, in terms of knowledge mobilization to enhance the value of the research that was funding. So there you go. That's the beginning of it. It really started at the Research Council, the Social Science Humanities Research Council of Canada, in about 2001, 2002. There were a series of activities and events, and it's gone from there. If you have comments, please leave your comments. If you have questions, please feel free to contact me. As I said, my name is Peter Levesque, Director of Knowledge Mobilization Works. Our website is www.knowledgemobilization.net, and my email is pnlevesque@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.